So it's no secret that out of all the pythons found here in Australia, the carpet python is, without a doubt, the most popular. So in this video, I'm going to travel along the east coast of Australia and look into how carpet pythons are living out here in the wilds of Australia so that we better know how to care for them in our homes. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my reptile adventures. Our adventure begins just north of Brisbane, Australia. We headed up a mountain in the Tamborine area where coastal carpet pythons are one of the most common snakes you can encounter here.
Ooh, hello. All right, check this out, guys. That is a big old carpet. Look at the size of this girl, or boy. Hi. Look at that. Ow! God dang it. I'm trying to show people your pattern and you're just, look at that. He just gave me a little love tap. No big deal. Come here. Hey, give me back my glasses. Come here. Come here. All right, so one end of him is pooping, the other end is biting. But this is a typical carpet python that we're gonna find here. Ow! This is a typical carpet python that we're gonna find here in Queensland, and man, they are just super bitey, but super beautiful. Look at those colors. Dude, I don't know why you are so surly. All right, so I got him a little bit more calmed down, a little bit more subdued. He is really giving my arm a squeeze here. It's a little uncomfortable, not as bad as him biting me. So carpet pythons are bird eaters as well as rodent eaters, and therefore they have elongated teeth at the front top of their jaw and at the bottom. And when they tag you like he just did, it hurts. But this is a typical coloration of a wild carpet python. They are really gorgeous. You know, you see a lot of coastal carpet pythons at expos, and they just don't have these kinds of vibrant colors like this. These are just really fantastic snakes. But again, we haven't even gotten to the top of the mountain. We're just ascending up the top of the mountain, and already we are finding these guys on the side of the road, which is typical. So where we are right now in Queensland, these are the only kinds of pythons that you're gonna find, are these coastal carpets, and they have a huge range here in Australia. I'm telling them, you have a huge range. But anyway, I don't want to stress him out any more than we have to. I just wanted to show you our very first carpet python here in Australia. We're going to let him go, and I'm going to take some temperature readings right where we caught him to see what temperatures and humidities these guys are hanging out at. Morph Market is the #1 online marketplace for all your reptiles and amphibians. You can search through over 60 categories to find your perfect new pet, whether it's the latest boa constrictor morph or your 150th crested gecko. It's all right here at one place. Morph Market. All right, so let's take a temperature reading of the ground temperature. And look at that, it's only 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 21 degrees Celsius. So it's still really chilly on the ground where these carpet pythons are moving around. But over here, the ambient temperature, look at that, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 20 degrees Celsius. And look at that humidity, 80% humidity. So really high humidity, but really kind of surprisingly lower temps. So right now it's mid-November, which means that it's springtime here in Australia. So the daytime temperatures are going to be blistering hot, but the nighttime temperatures are going to be much cooler. And therefore, carpet pythons are going to switch from being diurnal to being nocturnal. Even though it is pretty chilly out here right now, they are still going to be moving around. So right now we're going to cruise up this mountain. I'm sure we're going to see a couple of coastal carpet pythons crossing the road. What's interesting is the half a dozen times that I've been here, I have found carpet pythons in the trees during the day, but they become more terrestrial at night. I always find them crossing the road, crossing trails and forests at night. Very rarely do I ever see them up in the trees at night. All right, check this out. This is not a carpet python, but this is something very cool. That is a Bandy Bandy. Are you sure this isn't like a California king snake that's invasive here or something? Or I mean, it certainly does look like those bands of a California king snake.
So Bandy Bandies are one of the most venomous snakes here in Australia, and they have a really kind of strange defense mechanism. Whoa!
Yeah, there we go.
Look at that defense.
That's what they're famous for.
Yep. He just kind of makes himself into a roller coaster there. And if that doesn't work, off he goes.
So really cool to see a Bandy Bandy here. It's one of the species that shares its habitat with the carpet python. We're getting back in the car. We're gonna see if we can find yet another carpet python out here. All right, so we're at the base of the mountain. We're gonna climb up from here, but right over there is a lace monitor. And you know how we know that? Check this out. Okay, so we've got infrared going, and look at that. We're picking up the monitor on the stairs right in front of us with the infrared. And the monitor doesn't know we're here. Look at that. So from there, we're gonna look down here, and there he is right there. He's going right up the tree. That is a really good way to cheat here in Australia. Yeah, it's cheating at herping, but it's really freaking cool. And here we have a Mixio-freeze, a giant barred frog, just sitting here staring at me with that "I'm going to kill you" look on his face. And the only thing you can do when a frog looks at you like this is boop his snoot, boop boop. And now you boop his butt. Alright, see ya. Oh, check it out right there. There's a big, big land mullet. These guys spook really easy, so that might be all we get to see. But let's find out. All right, we got that land mullet out. That is a huge land mullet. I've never seen one this big. That is amazing. So these are skinks. They are related to blue-tongue skinks. And, you know, they kind of got overshadowed by blue-tongue skinks and pine-cone skinks. So not a lot of people outside of Australia know that these exist. That is a chubster of a lizard.
Just looks like a melanistic blue tongue, doesn't it?
That's right. And man, are they mean. Will you demonstrate how mean they are?
Give me a finger.
A land mullet with the hiccups. All right, let's put them back and continue our search. And look what we got here. Well, hi, buddy. Another beautiful carpet python. Hi. Don't be surly, buddy. Whoa, jeez. Easy, girl. Easy. Wild carpet pythons, man, they have these attitudes. And I just really don't want to get bit by him. So, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, look at that. He's got some very formidable teeth in there, and I don't want to get bit by this guy. But what's interesting is this time of year, you can see them both up in the trees and you can see them on the ground crawling around. And I mainly see them crawling around at night. They're crossing roads, whatever. But this is a typical coloration of a coastal carpet python in this area. It just really has those nice kind of golden yellow colors. He is squeezing the crap out of my hand right now, but that is okay. Rainbow Mealworms is not only a proud sponsor of this channel, they are the premier source for all your reptile food needs. They grow all of their quality insects in-house, and I use them exclusively for all my insect-eating reptiles. So place your order today at rainbowmealworms.net or click the link in the description below. There are several different types of carpet pythons found here in Australia. This is the coastal. This is the most common, the most wide-ranging. It ranges from roughly halfway between Sydney and Brisbane all the way up to the Cape York Peninsula. But you also have the Darwin carpet pythons that are found around Darwin. You have the jungle carpets that are found in a tiny little range up in the Cape York Peninsula. You have the Murray-Darling carpet pythons, which are the furthest southern ranging carpet pythons. You've got the Western Australian carpet pythons, and then you have the Centralian pythons. Kind of debate on if they are in fact carpet pythons or not. There's a whole area of discussion on those, but they are sometimes called Centralian carpet pythons or centrillion pythons. And then you also have the diamond pythons. But if he's going to hang out here, I'm going to take advantage of this, and I'm actually going to take a temperature reading of his body temperature. Look at that, 31 degrees, which is 87.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That's his body temperature right now. And it's pretty cool out here. But by way of comparison, let's grab an ambient temperature and a humidity reading right where he is. All right, and look at what that temperature is. Hey, dude, I'm trying to work here. But look at that, 67% humidity at 29 degrees Celsius, which is 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's the ambient temperature and the humidity right here where this carpet python is hanging out. But when you see those temperature and humidity readings right where this guy was hanging out, it gives us a snapshot of what temperatures and humidities we should be striving for in our enclosures. From the Brisbane area, I boarded a plane and headed north to Cairns, right in the middle of the Cape York Peninsula, and right in the middle of Australia's tropical rainforest, to explore a totally different habitat of the carpet python. So this is the wet tropical forest habitat of carpet pythons here in the north of Australia. We're in the Cape York Peninsula right now, and this looks very similar to any other wet tropical forest in the world, but it's here that we'll find not only coastal carpets, but it's here that we have a good shot of finding a jungle carpet python. You've got all these tropical plants, huge boulders, a weird looking turkey, and I'm sure that these big boulders and all these rocks are providing a lot of cover. Hi. Oh, hi, how you doing? Oh, are you having a conniption fit? Now this is interesting. I came here looking for carpet pythons, and I find this very strange bird acting very strangely. Okay, so that was weird. As I was saying, you've got all these big boulders in here that are providing a lot of cover for not only carpet pythons, but snakes as well. But take a look at this substrate here. It's really hard packed, but it's super dry, super hard packed soil, covered in the detritus that you see in any other forest. But hopefully we're gonna find a carpet python in here, and not any more crazy birds. So right over there is another common species of snake that shares this habitat with carpet pythons. That is a tree snake. They're a non-venomous species. They're called tree snakes because they live in the trees, but they don't spend all of their time in the trees, obviously. This one's cruising across the ground here, and I don't want to disturb him. I don't want to pick him up because I really don't want to harass him. I don't want to spook him, and I don't want to get musked. But that is another one of Australia's common snakes, and again another resident of the habitat of the carpet python here. So one of the reasons why I flew all the way up here, not only just to hopefully find a jungle carpet python up here, but to show you another type of habitat that carpet pythons live in. You got to be careful when you walk through this jungle here, because that is extremely serrated. That'll cut right through your skin. I'll just haphazardly walk right through it. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow. All right, so let's take a temperature reading here in the northernmost part of the carpet python's range here. So the ground temperature up here is 89 degrees, which is 32.2 degrees Celsius. That's the ground temperature in the sun. In the shady spots, it's 30 degrees Celsius and 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So the ground temperature is pretty warm here at the northernmost part of the carpet python's range. But let's see what the ambient temperature is and the humidity is here as well. And look what we got. 64% humidity, 88 degrees ambient air temperature, which is 31 degrees Celsius. Now, let's let that sit in the sunny spot. And as you can see, it's holding steady at 65% relative humidity at 31 degrees Celsius, which is 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 88.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, where I am in Australia, we have the jungle carpet python, we also have the coastal carpet python. Where I am is pretty much as far north as coastals get. They do get more north than this, but it is right in the middle of the range of the jungle carpet python, and we have been looking out here for a couple of days, have not been able to find one yet. They're pretty tricky to find, especially when it's hot and dry as it is now. But if you are keeping jungle carpets, the temperatures and the humidity readings that I just took are a good guide for keeping your jungle carpets at the optimal temperature and the optimal humidity. Just keep in mind that these videos and the temperature readings that I record out here is basically a snapshot of a day in the life of a carpet python out here. Within your enclosures, you should be giving them microclimate temperatures. Hot on one side, cooler on the other, with a medium grade in between so that they can choose what their optimal body temperature and humidity is desirable. So with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about caging. So carpet pythons are one of those species of snakes that is both arboreal and terrestrial. They will spend just about as much of their time in the trees as they will on the ground. So for enclosures with carpet pythons, you need to have bigger enclosures. I know a lot of people keep them in tubs, and while tubs aren't inherently a bad thing for carpet pythons, it just does not provide enough arboreal space for your snake to feel as comfortable as it can in its enclosure. So you need to have an enclosure that takes into consideration their arboreal tendencies as well as their tendencies to remain on the ground. So you need a lot of floor space in your enclosures. You also need a tall enclosure for them to take advantage of those arboreal places. And then when it comes to hide boxes, you need to have two different hide boxes within your enclosures, one on the bottom and one drilled to the top of the enclosure, so that they can use each one of those as they please if they want to be arboreal or if they want to be terrestrial. They have a hide box at either location to help them feel more secure in their enclosures. And when you put those hide boxes in, put them in the middle of the enclosure so that inside each hide box you have a warm end and a cool end. So again, lots of vertical space, lots of floor space, hide box on the bottom, hide box up on the top, and that is a good recipe for a really good enclosure for your carpet pythons. I love these rocks here. They give a lot of cover. You got these big boulders over here. Holy crap, guys. Hello, sweetheart. Look what we've got here. This is not a carpet python. This is a scrub python. Just look at that, laid out in the sun here, just as I was talking about how they're gonna go from boulders like this where it's nice and cool, and they're gonna come to sunny places like this to chill out. Now he sees me. Wait a minute, come here, buddy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, 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 easy. Look at this. This is a big, beautiful scrub python. And notice how thin they are. These wild scrub pythons are super thin like this. All right, have a look at this, guys. This is a big scrub python. It's not a very big scrub python, but look at, whoa, 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 easy, easy, easy. These guys have big teeth. These guys are very prone to strike, which he's about to do any minute. These guys are very, very, very bitey snakes. They're very mean. So have a look at this scrub python. Now, these are the biggest pythons in Australia. They're like number 5 of the biggest pythons in the world. And again, these are big, powerful snakes. This one's just a little guy, maybe a couple years old. But if you look, yeah, you can just wrap yourself around there. Look at how thin they are in the wild. And when we see these in captive collections, they're big, they're powerful, and let's face it, they're a little overfed. But this is how they look in the wild. They're really thin, but just look at that iridescence. Look at that pattern. Just an absolute honey of a python. But now these used to be related to carpet pythons. They used to be in the genus Morelia, not any longer. They've been reclassified. But you know, when you're out here looking for carpet pythons and you find a bonus like this, man, this is just awesome. Woo! But these have basically the same habits, live in the same habitats as carpet pythons, but these guys will get huge. These guys will get 20 feet or more, and a big scrub python like this will take down a wallaby, and they do. An adult scrub python like this will feed almost exclusively on wallabies, which are like little mini kangaroos. These are just absolute perfect Australian predators, and look at that, he's coiling around my arm, he's giving me a nice squeeze, but holding his head like this, I can control him and I'm not going to get bit. He has very sharp, very long teeth, and what they'll do is that they'll strike out, and they can strike up to 2/3 of their body length, and when they bite you, they sink those teeth in and pull back. And so when you get bit by a big scrubby like this, you could end up in the hospital, you could end up with a lot of stitches. And I don't want that to happen out here because I am miles away from a hospital right now. But what an amazing snake. But again, these were once Morelia, now they've been reclassified into their own genus. But when you're out here looking for carpet pythons, you find a bonus like this, man, it does not get any better than this. So guys, I hope that this video shed a lot of light on how carpet pythons and other pythons are living out here in the wilds of Australia. I love coming to Australia because you can find some of the most amazing snakes on the planet, carpet pythons and otherwise. So guys, as always with these videos, leave a comment below with a tip or a technique on how you're keeping carpet pythons at home so that others can learn from you as well. And until the next reptile adventure, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.